and the sun don't glare in your eyes. High over the mountains, but it's not night home. Blowing through these battered walls, let your fingers soften my eyes as a breath of fall rides on your shoulder. Would you soothe these troubled times? Won't you soothe these troubled times? There's a place where the cross is king, and the steeples fill the skies. No spirit left to wander free, and it's not like home to me. Blowing through these battered walls, let your whispers of night as a breath of life rides on your timeless wings. Would you soothe this troubled man? Won't you soothe this troubled man? And there's a place hard to see truth as it can. Lives out of blood, sweat and tears. It's the only blowing through these battered walls, let your you still believe your eyes? I don't know why you have to try so hard to hear your own heart calling. You're the keeper of the dream. Breadcrumbs leading from a frozen stream. You're the light they choose to see. Keeper of the dream. Saturday's burning volumes of symbols, neatly lined up to point to the riddles you're pondering.
Oh, I'm not supposed to walk in front of that.
Well,
I'm sorry.
where aging children may follow, happy visions that get turned to holograms under love when you turn inside, you still hear your cries. Lasting feelings has its price, and you learn twice. You have to ride so far to save the last star from falling. You're the keeper of the dream. Breadcrumbs leading from a frozen stream. You're the light they choose to see. Keeper of the dream. You're the keeper of the dream. Breadcrumbs leading from a frozen stream. You're the light they choose to see. Keeper of the dream.
Good morning. We welcome all of you who are part of our service this morning, and we want to begin right out the gate by wishing each of you safe passage through this quite unsettling time. May the very spirit and essence of life, the source of wholeness, be strong within you and among us as we navigate unpredictable waters. All Souls is a covenantal community, united not by a shared belief, about matters of theology or philosophy, but by our pledge of how we'll be together in community. We agree to treat one another respectfully, even if we have differing paths and opinions. This requires intentionality and stretching in a group of people that are not like-minded. And we honor the diversity of life. We honor the inherent worth and dignity of every person. To that end, whoever you are, whatever your age, race, origin, orientation, background, status, ability, identity, history, if you care to be here with us, you are welcome. And we wish you the very best always. So we don't think that we have to think alike to love alike. Even with varied understandings, we can hold that we can all love. And we are all able to walk standing together in reverence with integrity and fostering compassion in a world that needs it so very much. Even so, there are some exceptions I would like to offer for our totally welcoming environment here. And I think you can imagine what some of them are. But I'm going to articulate the request anyway. If you feel yourself to be in a higher risk group, if you've been around anyone displaying COVID-19 symptoms, if you are exhibiting any of the symptoms, even if it's due to a known other reason, like just because of the discomfort coughing might give somebody else, if you are concerned that you might have fever, please be considerate of the rest of the community and practice personal isolation. Things are going to be changing around here a good bit for a while. This is our last in-person worship service for a little bit. Right now, we're kind of operating under the idea that we're going to suspend services for 2 weeks and then evaluate, but odds are not bad that it will be longer than that. Would our board president like to speak to this a little bit?
Hi, good morning. I'm Bennett Upton, and I'm the president of the board here at All Souls. And so I did want to let you guys know that the board is actively engaged in working on the problem of how to handle, of what to do in the upcoming days of without a in-person service, that we're probably going to have very few people who are going to be involved in that. But I do also want to say that there's going to be a worship committee meeting, a gathering of a lot of folks this afternoon. So not too many folks, hopefully, but we'll keep it all safe. But anyway, so yeah, herein lies the problem. How do we solve the problems if we can't get together to solve the problems? But the worship committee is going to be meeting. Going to an online experience, it requires a lot more effort. It requires a lot more work. So already we have our wonderful cameraman here, James Peck, who is helping us out this morning and is also on the worship committee. He does a ton of work with us. So if you're interested in getting involved in that kind of thing, if you have skills with video editing, if you have skills of any of that kind of sort, then please let me know. And maybe get with me after the service or send me an email. Most of you have already gotten emails from me in the past. You probably have my email address. If not, it's on the orders of service. If you need help with technology to access any of our services in the future, please reach out. We're happy to help you to work through any of your technology issues. I know as we go to Zoom and Facebook Live, those are probably going to be the two primary platforms that we use, possibly Skype. It's going to cause some issues. And we'll talk about that a little bit more, I think, later on in the service. So that's Anyway, I appreciate your patience with this, and please let us know if you're having any issues. Thank you so much.
Also, we expect there to be glitches as we go along because we're brand new at this. We've not streamed services ever or done any video recordings of worship services. So if you will bear with us, we would also appreciate if there are things that particularly you miss or that don't work for you or gently worded critique that you might want to give us. We would appreciate the input because we will be adjusting this as we go along. The hope is to make it feel as much like a worship experience as possible without somebody. I mean, it's kind of strange to think about people sitting at home without a hymnal singing by themselves if we lead a hymn. But then there's the deal if people have families and we do make lyrical access available. People singing together in a family does make sense. So we have to be kind of mindful of what the variety of dynamics in play are. And we'll give you a little bit more information about what to access a little later in the service. Susan, do we have other announcements?
There's a list of resources that some of you may have gotten at the door, or some of you may, they came out a little bit later than after some of you had come in. But we're still talking about the ways we're going to do that, as Bennett and Reverend Barbara have said. But there are links to our Facebook page, to our website, to the Church of the Larger Fellowship, which is actually a Unitarian Universalist congregation without walls. And also a little bit about Zoom. If you haven't used Zoom before, we will probably be using that for some small groups and maybe for worship. We don't know. Like I said, we're still figuring it all out. But so there's a little bit of information to kind of help you if you're not as familiar with the online resources. Thanks.
So, if you will, disarm electronic tethers and distractions. And let us enter a spirit of worship. In the presence of all that fills us with being, we gather. Here we lift up what we find to be of worth. That is the definition of worship. For this hour, may we rest into where we are. Breathe with whatever ease we will allow ourselves. And be at peace with this moment. May our minds be encouraged to open to deeper understanding from wherever it may come. May we find the courage to let our hearts be softened by both the pain and the beauty of the world. May our spirits expand to fill the callings that are ours alone. That our energy, our hands, and our hope may serve to elevate the light of truth and the holy oneness of existence. Could I get my bearers of light and tradition for this morning? we kindle this flame to honor the heritage that brought us safe thus far. By its singleness, we mark our gathering together in mutual care and support. Let us remember the strength we have in connection.
In our covenantal tradition and in association with other Unitarian Universalist congregations, we have developed 7 principles that we pledge to affirm and promote. That same association of congregations has also identified a list of 6 sources from which our tradition draws. To help us remember our place in the larger community, we lift up a few of them each week in a rotation throughout the year. Every week, we try to honor our first principle, which is affirming the inherent worth and dignity of every person. Every week, we also celebrate our first source, which is direct experience of that transcending mystery and wonder affirmed in all cultures, which moves us to a renewal of the spirit and an openness to the forces that create and uphold life. In their religious education program, our children are currently focusing on peace, social justice, and the interdependent web of existence. We therefore come to honor our second principle, affirming and promoting justice, equity, and compassion in human relations. We lift up our 5th principle, the right of conscience and the use of the democratic process within our congregations and in society at large. We also honor both our 6th principle, the goal of world community with peace, liberty, and justice for all, and our 7th principle, respect for the interdependent web of all existence of which we are a part. The other lit candles represent the principles and sources we have previously highlighted. If you would like to know a bit more, complete copies of our principles and sources are available in the foyer.
Thank you very much. Would you please find in your orders of service the unison affirmation, rise in body or spirit, and say it with us as you will, please. Love is the doctrine of this church. The quest for truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge and freedom, to serve human need, to the end that all souls shall grow into harmony with the Savior. Thus do we covenant with each other. Our hymn will be, we've got the whole world in our hands. We're doing different words, I think, than the ones that are in the hymnal, so they should be on an insert if you pick one up.
And
When new people join us, we have a responsibility to actively welcome them, to try to get to know them and help them get to know us better. They choose to be included in our number and have given it thought, careful consideration, and after observing us for a while, have decided to be a part of this. So we're bound together by our promises to treat one another respectfully and to live in integrity with truth as we are given to understand the truth, and to encourage one another to keep growing in our spiritual journeys and towards the ideal of beloved community. This morning, there are several who, after taking that time, have decided to become part of this church. And as I call your name, would you please come forward? Melody Armstrong. We're here to share this journey with you and encourage you along your way. Wealthia Jackson. Patrick McDay. And Claire McDonald. I don't see Elise.
They spent the night with my brother last night.
So, if you would join this collaborative effort, this community, would you please affix your names to our rolls? You have two choices for how to avoid germs. You can use the same pen and the germ eradicator or different pens. Options are good. I liked that you came up here and spaced yourself. We are trying to intentionally build in space to the areas where people need to be together. And we'll get to some of that also. This is a major step. It's affirming a choice to move into active membership. Being a part of this body feels very different than attending and not being committed to it. And we very much value this commitment that these people are making this morning. In this tradition, there are no single beliefs that include us all, and there's not a disbelief that excludes. We call one another to search, guided by integrity, reason, and love. Justice is not easy. The ways of peace take courage. Compassion requires great personal knowledge and heart. Each one of these needs conscious tending. Together we strive to grow in all these noble pursuits. We extend to you the freedom of this tradition with our love and our support as you continue the path that is your true course, and thus the flame of our congregation burns brighter. Claire McDonald, Patrick McDay, Wealthia Jackson, Melody Armstrong. Would you please welcome our new members? We'll get Titans and Mrs. O. We know it's a scary time for a lot of folks, and so I would like for us to join in singing hymn number 1012 in the teal hymnal. Now, we don't have a whole lot of these hymnals, so you will need to share, most likely, unless you wander around and pick one up. Please remain seated. I want to encourage our young people to voice what their concerns are with the adults around them and to have faith that the world is unfolding in new ways all the time. If you would help me sing the young people out to their classes, please.
Go now in peace, go now in peace. May the spirit of love surround you everywhere, everywhere you may go.
We've already shared a good bit of the information we have to give you about, the resources we're trying to develop. The UUA has already made accommodations. The hymns that are in our hymnals were not before something that we were allowed to put on streaming video. And they have, since this dilemma, made it so that we can. I mean, there are resources that they are actively developing, and if we will, we need to stay updated and check what information we find, because there is indeed a great deal of misinformation out there. We have reason to suspect numbers are higher than we know at this time, just because the testing has not been readily available. And a good bit of what I'm going to be talking about is why I think it's responsibly hospitable to be mindful of other people's concerns and the pool of possibility, no matter how defiant we might feel or impervious. But we'll get to some of that later. Still, the resources that we hope to use, we will try to get information to you about where to find those. You will be responsible for looking at the church's website or the church's Facebook page or emails that we send out. If you don't have technology, sometimes we can do things to help you access technology. We cannot pay for everyone's internet. But we might be able to help people get to places where internet is. So we'll look into some of that too. Depending on what the recommendations are by the authorities, we will try to be compliant with that. I think love will guide us. We were going to sing that before the service began, but I think that's primarily what we have to consider is love. And we have a member here that wanted to say something.
I would just like to remind everyone that their local public library website is a clearinghouse for all COVID information you need to know. Thank you.
Our local public library website is a clearinghouse for all the COVID-19 information that we might need to know. So if you can access the public library website from any place, you can get all the updates. Thank you, John. This reading that I'm going to use as the offertory reading comes from Lynn Adair Unger, who wrote the music for a song we do to words by Rumi. The song is Come, Come, Whoever You Are. We're not doing that song today, but this was composed the 11th of this month, and it's called Pandemic. What if you thought of it as the Jews consider the Sabbath, the most sacred of times? Cease from travel, cease from buying and selling, give up, just for now, on trying to make the world different than it is. Sing, pray, touch only those to whom you commit your life. Center down. And when your body has become still, reach out with your heart. Know that we are connected in ways that are terrifying and beautiful. You could hardly deny it now. Know that our lives are in one another's hands. Surely that has come clear. Do not reach out your hands. Reach out your heart. Reach out your words. Reach out all the tendrils of compassion that move invisibly where we cannot touch. Promise this world your love for better or for worse, in sickness and in health, so long as we all shall live. We will need to be mindful of one another. Since we can't keep visual contact necessarily with the people that we care about or that are part of our communities, we will have to be intentional about making contact other ways and checking on people and working to keep our depth of connection healthy and thriving. We will now very gratefully receive your offerings. We are working to find other music that we can use that we have the rights to. Thank you for indulging mine today. This is from D. Scott Cooper. There's a glow far off in the distance, a light to which no path leads. We know that each time we help another or join with them to heal the world, each time we work and hope and love against all odds, a spark is created that adds to the intensity of that light. We join with others who see and turn toward the glow. As we travel toward that beacon, the underbrush of indifference is flattened and a path is created. More are led to join us, and obstacles are kicked away. A road is formed. Many approach the light, strengthened by our works, and we join them to each other to light a candle. Although many candles are lighted, the blaze never diminishes. We travel out into the world again to light the darkness and begin again. The cycle continues, our work intensifying the glow, and our joining with others to travel to the blaze and light our candles again. We continue knowing that one day we, or our grandchildren, or perhaps their grandchildren, will no longer travel that widened and trodden path to light a candle because dawn has arrived. Justice has become commonplace and poverty is vanquished. The beloved community stands illuminated in the fullness of daylight. We carry that vision into a moment of silence. May we do all we can to create love and light where there is fear and pain. How many of you have a tad of concern about these health issues? How many of you have a great deal of concern about these health issues? How many of you really aren't that worried about it? So we have a broad spectrum of feeling and understanding about the possibilities here. Responses, because of those different feelings, can be on a broad spectrum too, can't they? In that light, I wanted to talk just a little bit about what I think responsible hospitality is. And you may, as always, not share my opinion. I do understand and agree that we are not necessarily responsible for the feelings of others or the well-being of others. But still, there are some levels that we really kind of are. A long time ago in my life, a man that I respected a great deal stopped doing some things that he enjoyed, and I was curious about why. And he told me that even though those things were not problems for him, they were problems for other people. And that in compassion, his intention was not to do what made, and these are his words, his brother fall. That's an awful lot to try to live into. You know, it goes back to the story of Cain and Abel, you know, am I my brother's keeper? And as Unitarian Universalists, working for a beloved community and trying to create as much compassion and understanding in the world as we can, we are in the process of moving away from this individuality and, you know, if I look after me and you look after you, then everything's good, and trying to reconnect to a sense of we're all in this together. We are responsible for one another in lots of ways. And we also talk about how energy is a dynamic alive in the world. Religious education this morning, I was talking about the idea that carrying hope, becoming, however minimally more mindful than we have been, every little bit of that keeps things from falling to despair, keeps things from falling apart, keeps us all connected, gives other people things that can strengthen them. Things are constantly changing. And as I said earlier, there is always new information out there, and there is always misinformation out there. It's not our job to be cynical about something that has the possibility, the slightest possibility of being life-threatening to somebody else. And Unitarian Universalists are pretty well known for having authority issues, not caring to be compliant. Growing up, my mother told people if they wanted me to do something to tell me not to. And in a large measure, it was true. If you want me to stand away from somebody, be sure and tell me to get close. You know that? But whether or not we personally take this pandemic seriously and feel that we need to show an abundance of caution, I would suggest that responsible hospitality calls us to honor the possibilities. May not be your nature, may not be something you want to do, but if compassion and love and understanding are about stretching ourselves, being willing to change for the common good and for the well-being of those around us, then maybe you'll think about it. Change is never comfortable. And we need to change, at least for now. Staying out of public spaces except when genuinely necessary. Washing your hands a dozen or more times a day. You know, whenever you go places that other people have been. Keeping things clean that people touch a lot. Not being absurd about things, whatever that might be. But what we're being recommended to do is stay 6 feet apart. So when we have meetings here that are necessary or that are in small groups, we will be setting things farther apart. And we will encourage those of you not necessary to the production, not to attend church. I'm not asking us to be afraid, I'm asking us to be considerate. Our closing hymn is going to be Swimming to the Other Side. It's an insert in your orders of service. If you'll rise in body or spirit. It's going to be a little low for the guys, or the low voices. Didn't help. We are living in the great big dipper. We are washed by the very same rain. We are swimming in the stream together. Some in power and some in pain. We can worship this ground we walk on. Perishing the beings that we live beside. Loving spirits that live together. We're all swimming to the other side. Stop. I just realized we don't have the right to do this song on our broadcasting. This is our first effort. So what we will do instead is love will guide us. Okay? It's 1:31. We'll get better at all of this, I promise. May our faith sustain us, our hope inspire us, and our love surround us as we go our separate ways, knowing that we will gather again in this beloved community. I wish all of you safe journeys, healthy times, and stay in touch. So be it. Amen.